I think back to like the first games that I went to, which was 14, and there were some criticisms that was like, this is too hard. I mean, athletes, there was a couple years where athletes were like decimated. There was a series of years back to back where athletes were absolutely demolished.
Yep.
And, not because I want to see them go back to like rhabdo status, but also the part of the game's experiment is on where is the tip of the spear and how far forward is it. So when I'm like, well, when's Dave going to find a test that Fraser doesn't basically completely pass ace? And so it's like the tip of the spear is still sharp, very, very sharp. And so some of the workouts can be harder. And in a sense, it's setting the new standard for the season. It's saying, okay, look, we've taken this whole season of fitness. We've taken a look at all the tests that we've had here so far. How much further can the tests go? And this is the environment to test it. Not everybody is meant to pass these tests. Some of them are meant to fail. Now, the fittest on earth will pass the tests the most or the best, but not necessarily exceed the capacity of these tests. When you have somebody finishing a minute before the time cap, it's like, oh, okay, that's or a minute before anybody else. You're like, that guy clearly isn't getting pushed. So, I go back to these 14, 15, and 16 years, and people were like, I'm done. Like,
I can't anymore. Yeah.
And there was criticism in the community, like the games is too hard. Like they're going to kill somebody here. And I think he's taking a step back there. I think he's pulled off the throttle a little bit. That or these athletes are just insane. And now we've just gone.
I would guess that it's that. Because Dave's tests are smart. Like they might not seem as demolished. They might not be like, in that rhabdo area, but I think, rest assured, the athletes are wrecked just from this phase 1. And they were home with their own, with their own Normatec, with their own ice baths, with their own everything, like to a point where they've never been able to recover like that in a games environment before. And I still think they are not okay.
Well, I don't know. I've talked to a couple of them, but that topic hasn't come up. We've talked about some other things and stuff, but that's all. I would like to see them go beyond benchmarks here. I would like to see them really test the tip of the spear again. Because you've got 5 athletes on each side. You have it's basically as blank of a canvas as you can possibly have. Set the standard for the 2020 game season. Set the standard here. We look at things and you look at the progression of fitness. I'll give you one example. I know we're running on a little bit long here, but I'll give you one example. Patrick Vellner and Brent Fikowski, when they did, I don't know, what was it? 16.1, where it was dumbbell snatches and burpee box
step overs.
Yeah. Burpee box jump overs. It was in the live announcement is Vellner versus Fikowski, and they were setting the dumbbell down on their snatches and then switching hands each time. And it was alternating. That is not something that happens at the competitive level anymore. That was a 50-pound dumbbell, 35 pounds for women. And what did we see at regionals? Well, we saw dumbbells at regionals, and people were doing absurd things with a 70-pound dumbbell. And now they're switching midair, and now they're doing this, and they're building the strength to be able to do that, the stability to be able to do that. And that alone, programming that in the open, having dumbbell snatches for the first time in the open, rewrote the style with which competitive fitness approached the dumbbell snatch. Absolutely. And now we're doing it heavier. Now we're doing our cycle speed faster. We're increasing the amount of reps and the capacity in which we could do that in a certain period of time. Now, switching it down below, you can't do as many in a minute as you can if you're going to cycle midair and you're going to pop and you're going to go and you're going to go and you're going to use momentum and you're going to use a hit drive to get it up further. You can transfer more load and more weight by doing the skill transfer there. And so now all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, look, like we didn't know it was going to get there, but by programming and by assigning it, now we've gotten there. And so by adding new tests, by adding new components, by advancing the spear a little bit forward, the sport of fitness continues to adapt and to grow. And if it doesn't happen at the games, then where will it happen? Yeah. And that's what I hope to see.
Interesting. Well, only time will tell, but not too much time. The games are right around the corner. Thank goodness. Weeks. I don't want to wait. I want to see what will go down. So Justin, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see you guys next time here on The Bottom Line.